Lots of Wonderful podcast. My name is Ali and I am in Kent in the UK, where I live with my husband and our 2 young daughters. This is my place on the interwebs to talk about crochet and knitting and yarn and all the crafty good stuff. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as starryeyesali. I think that's it. I feel a bit like I'm looking up at you today. I've got a slightly different setup for my camera today. If you've watched my podcast before, you will have heard me mention a few times that my podcasting filming setup is somewhat unprofessional. Today it is on a small tripod. My phone is on a small tripod balanced on top of a box of tissues, which is in turn balanced on top of a plastic box which I keep my sewing stuff in, and behind that is a mirror from the bathroom which is perched against my sort of cosmetic case that I use for my face paints. So yeah, it might be a bit wobbly, but hopefully I'm in focus and in shot. Yes, I am. If I start to ramble and you get bored, the timestamps for all of the things I'm going to talk about today are underneath this video, along with the show notes. Everything's underneath the video. I did try putting the notes on Ravelry, but it was a bit of a faff, and I think it is easier to have all the notes to hand as you're watching. So today we are going to start with strictly sock along news, because Strictly Come Dancing starts in the UK on Saturday the 9th of September. It is also my 1 year podiversary. Yeah! So I figured a little cow would be a good thing to coincide with that, and that means I get to give back to the people who have been coming along with me for this podcasting ride. We are now up to, can't remember, but over 1,200 subscribers, which is incredible. I had this sort of huge influx of subscribers over the last few weeks. So thank you very much for joining me, all you new people, and thank you to everybody who leaves me comments. I do try to reply to everyone. So if I've missed anyone, I do apologise, but I do usually get to it eventually. Where was I going with this? Oh yes, so I've been doing this for a year, so I figured a cow was about overdue and it would be fun. And last year I made Strictly sock. Why am I talking about this now? Let's talk about it when we actually get to that section. Anyway, timestamps are below. We're going to start with talking about Strictly sock along when it's time. Then I'm going to talk to you about some finished objects. I've only got 2 things to talk to you about. One of them I don't have, so I'm going to show you a picture, and the other one is a yarn dyeing finished object. I'm going to talk to you very briefly about 3 works in progress, and then I'm going to show you why I'm only going to talk to you about 3. Incoming, I'm going to talk about, I've got a small and very interesting haul from my local village fair that happened on Bank Holiday Monday, the Monday just gone. And I've also got some yarn that I bought, some yarn that's been given to me, which I'm really excited to show you. It's all from the same person. And today, this arrived. I won't show you my address, obviously. I was literally just waving off my husband and my daughters to the shops, and I noticed that I had some posts, and it's my little French Meadow mini skein cup, so we'll open that together. And then I usually talk about my sort of crafting plans for the next couple of weeks or months, and sometimes I do a bit, a sort of and finally bit where I talk about anything. I'm going to combine those 2 things today, and I'm going to talk a little bit about anxiety and feeling overwhelmed and trying to find balance with my crafting and normal life. Not that crafting's not normal, but we'll get to that later. And I've got a couple of little extra videos as well to pop in. So I do have a video that I made about the yarn dyeing I did, and I also have a little vloggy bit at the end for my trip to the Kentish coastal seaside town of Westgate. I took some footage while I was there, but I'll pop that in at the end. So without further ado, let's get started on Strictly Sock Along. So last year, I decided that I was going to make some vanilla socks to knit only whilst I was watching Strictly Come Dancing. And I cast them on during the launch show, and then I only ever worked on them if I was watching Strictly or It Takes Two, or which is that spin-off weekday programme on BBC Two. And then I cast those socks off during the final of Strictly, which is about a week before Christmas, and it was quite a lot of fun. I enjoyed doing it. If you search the hashtag Strictly 2016 socks, you will see my posts, because I think that I'm the only one who used that hashtag. So, and you'll see what I did. And this year I'm going to do it again. And I mentioned in my last podcast that I was going to do it again, and would anyone maybe be interested in joining me? And lots of you have said you would like to. So I have started a thread in Ravelry, and I've left my iPad in the other room, and I'm going to need it to explain to you the very, very serious rules. So let me just go and get my iPad. Right, iPad and rules. Now, the rules are very serious, so please pay attention. Okay? Your socks must be started during the UK Strictly 2017 launch show, which is this Saturday, the 9th of September. Keep listening, because these are serious. Your socks must be finished during the Strictly Final 2017, and you must only knit your socks during Strictly watching. This includes this year's series, It Takes Two, rewatching any previous year's dances on YouTube. So this is a pretty flexible rule. Both crochet and knitted socks can be entered, and double, triple, quadruple, and any roupling of dips into other cows is absolutely fine and encouraged. And this is the most important rule, please feel free to make as many as you want, as long as you can fit them into the above rules. Cunning and rule bending are encouraged. In fact, there may even be prizes for exceptional good rule bending. So already we've had a few people who I think are going to be making their socks during different versions of Strictly. So the Norwegian version, and possibly, I don't know, the US version. I don't know when that starts, and it's called different things all over the world. So if you have got, in the run up to Christmas, your own version in your own country, feel free to use that too. And please make sure when you are sharing information about your socks that if you used any particular cunning or rule bending, that you mention how so that I know how cunning you are. And then just make sure, please make sure you share them. Go onto the Ravelry group, share what you're doing, share your finished objects. I'll open a finished objects thread in the next couple of weeks, and go onto Instagram and use the hashtag Strictly 2017 socks, and encourage everyone to join in, because there will be prizes. I'm not sure how many prizes yet. I've got a few lined up. So I'm going to make one of my dodgy bags. If you've watched the podcast before, you will know that I do make project bags, not for any other reason than just for fun or for gifts. And I do consider myself a dodgy sewer. So I will make one of my dodgy project bags, and I have got some beautiful yarn that has been donated to the Sock Along by Kelly, who is the dyer behind, excuse the crinkling, she is the dyer behind Lay Family Yarns, and she has sent me, she sent me 3 sock sets actually, and they are so clever. I was going to talk about these in the incoming section, but we'll just talk about them now. So first of all, when I was talking about doing the Strictly Sock Along, she said, oh, I would love to dye some yarn for you to use for it. And knowing I liked yellow, she used Strictly dances as inspiration for different yarn colours. So this is the one she sent. She sent me 3 and said I could choose 2 and give 1 away as one of the prizes. And you're not going to believe it when I show you. So this is the one I've chosen, and this is the sock set called Salsa. And you get 50 grams of the main colour and 20 grams of the contrast. And it is a 75-20 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon and 5% silver stellina, of course, because you need a bit of bling for Strictly socks. I love yellow. Yellow is my favourite. And this, I don't know if you can see it there, is called Salsa. And this is actually inspired by the salsa quite a few years back, which was Karen Hardy and Mark Ramprakash when they got stuck together by their microphone. And let me just try and show you this. The contrast colour is called, can you guess? It's glittery, it's silver. Glitter Ball. All of these sock sets that she sent me have the contrast colour Glitter Ball, which she's dyed up especially for Strictly. And this is going to be my Strictly socks. I am going to be knitting salsa socks for Strictly, and I cannot wait. I mean, I was pretty excited anyway, but then when this arrived, my excitement basically tripled, which was quite hard to do in the first place. So these are my Strictly socks, but not only did she send me those, lovely Kelly sent me 2 more of her Strictly sock sets. So I'm going to try and do this without too much crinkling. This one is the Samba. Is this Samba? Yeah, this is the Samba one, again with the glitter ball contrast. I don't want to take them out the packet because I haven't decided which one I'm going to give as a prize. I almost feel like it's such a generous gift that I should maybe give both away, but then at the same time I'm really selfish and I love them too much. So I might only give one away. But this is Samba along with the glitter ball contrast, and then this one, I believe, let me just double check, yes of course it is the Argentine Tango, and that is a glorious deep purple, very sort of sultry and sexy colour. And this is a kind of fun confetti samba festival riot of confetti colours. Kelly, you are so clever, and let me just show her, this is her card, Lay Family Yarns. She's on Etsy, so yeah, Lay Family Yarn on Etsy, and she's also on Instagram where she's Kelly Lay. I'm going to have to do this off the top of my head. I'll put it on the screen, but I think it's Kelly Lay 1512, I think. And yeah, they arrived yesterday after I'd been stuck in traffic on my way home from work for about 45 minutes. I don't know what was going on. It must have been roadworks or something. And I've had a pretty rubbish week. In fact, I think I've had probably one of the worst weeks of all time. I mean, you know, I've had weeks where I've had my bowel removed. So to say it was up there with one of the worst weeks is, you know, going some, but seriously. And if you're wondering what I mean when I say I've had weeks when I've had my bowel removed, watch episode 10 if you haven't already. This is a really rambly start to all of this. Anyway, so that is one of the prizes, which is amazing. So that is like the first prize. My bag is like, well, you know, runner-up prize. And then I thought I might buy a UK published crochet magazine to give away as well. And I have got an amazing pattern to give away as a prize. Naomi, who is Cozy Cute Knits on, I think she's on Ravelry and Instagram, has donated the Follow the Butterfly shawl pattern. It's a knitted pattern. She contacted me a little while ago to give me a copy and offer a copy for the podcast, and she said she would be delighted that if I could I said, would you mind if I offered it as one of the prizes for the Strictly Sock Along, and she was delighted. She said that's absolutely fine. So we also have a wonderful pattern, which hopefully I'm putting up on the screen around me somewhere. And there will be more, because I feel like this is my 1 year podiversary and it's run up to Christmas. It's my favourite time of year. I've had so much support from the people that have been on this podcasting ride with me. And I love the feedback that I get and the comments that you leave me, and just the general feeling of being part of something that you let me have. and I want to give away some stuff to you guys and have some fun with you, because I feel like I owe you all a lot. Not getting emotion. Right, finished objects. Like I said, I have one finished object that I made, and if you follow me on Instagram you would have seen my pusheen. And if you don't know what pusheen is, it's a little like an emoji cat thing, like it's a sticker that you get on Facebook Messenger. Anyway, you can get him on a t-shirt and stuff in Claire's Accessories here in the UK. Anyway, all of my children, both of my girls really love him, but in particular my eldest girl's best friend is a big fan. And my eldest girl's best friend, they're 11 years old and they're due to start secondary school on Monday, and her best friend is moving today. So that's a big thing for them, and she's moving away to another part of Kent, and they won't be going to school together. So she asked me if I would make her friend a pusheen for her to take. So I did, and I'm going to put it up here, hopefully beside me somewhere. And I made a pusheen and I made a little donut. Interestingly, the donut was harder than making the entire cat, and that was using the Little Dumpling Kitty pattern by Sarah Sloyer. So I was really pleased with that, but I'm sorry I don't have it to show you. But I would really recommend it. It's a free pattern, and you can knock them up. They're crochet patterns, and you can maybe knock them up in about, I don't know, a couple of hours watching a film or something. So yeah, I was really pleased with that. And the other finished object I have, I'm going to include a little snippet of a film, because I did some yarn dyeing. We were attacking the garden, which was in desperate need of sorting out. And it looks brilliant now, just looking at it, thinking how neat and tidy it looks. And we had this out of control sort of climbing passion flower, which also has ornamental passion fruits grow on it, and they're bright orange, and inside they've got bright red seeds. And we were pulling it all down, and I thought, I wonder if I could dye yarn with either one of those elements of the passion fruit, with the seeds or the skin. And then I thought, well, I'll just gather what I can and see what happens. So I gathered a load of the fruits, and I separated the skins from the seeds, and I dyed some yarn. So I am going to show you now the little video of the process. enjoyed that. So here are the finished objects from that video. These are the two skeins of yarn. I have no idea how the colour's going to come out, or if it's going to come out a bit washed out or not. But these are this top one is the one I dyed with the red seeds, and this bottom one is the one I dyed with the orange skins. And I was actually quite surprised at how that bottom one came out, because when I boiled up the skins, I didn't think that it looked like there was much in the way of dye stuff in the water, and I was going to just throw it away down the sink. Sorry about the bits of twine. I put bits of twine around just to stop it all getting tangled up when I'm dyeing it. But my eldest daughter said, no, give it a go. And I thought, well, I haven't got anything to lose, have I? I could always just over dye it later. So this was a 100-gram skein of DK weight yarn, and I just split it into two. So I've now got 50 grams of each. So that I think I wasn't overly keen on the colours, but actually they've grown on me. They're quite nice, and you might make a nice kind of, the yarn is incredibly soft, so you might make a nice little shawlette or scarf, or maybe even mittens. Yeah, so I was quite pleased with how that came out. So that was my only two finished objects. And then, right, works in progress. I'm going to try and be brief here. But there was three I wanted to show you in particular, one of which I haven't brought with me. So let's just talk about the two of them that I've got here, and I'll show you the other one in a minute. So first of all, I talked a couple of episodes ago about the free pattern I got when I bought my tickets for the festival, yarn festival, that takes place in Hitchin in Hertfordshire in the UK in November. And when you get your tickets, you've got a code for a knitted festival bag and a crocheted one. This is the crocheted one. Sorry, it's black and white. The colours she's used, just so you know, are really nice, but you can't see. And it's a lined bag. So you crochet the bag and then you line it and you attach handles. So, and it's corner to corner crochet, which I have never tried before. And oh my God, I love it. And I couldn't wait to get started, and I didn't have the right yarn, so I just used stuff I had left over from making a cow for my youngest daughter. So, and I striped it. So this is my bag, and this is all with Seaside Cotton Rich Aran, which I love. It's an Aran, obviously it's an Aran weight yarn, and it's cotton, and it's just, oh, I love it. It works up so beautifully, and it's lovely to work with, and it gives such a nice soft drapey fabric. And it's a box bottom bag, so the way you work up the bag in one piece, one flat piece, and then you sew it together. It's really, really clever. Oh, the pattern, I should say, is by Sam, who is Betsy Makes on Instagram, and she has a lovely podcast too. So I've made the bag, and then it's got flowers, the star flowers. It's called the star flower bag, and they get attached. They get attached to the outside of the bag. So I have enough green, and I think I'll make some green, and I might have enough to make flowers in each of the three colours, and then I just need to decide on my lining and put it all together. But I haven't been able to do any sewing-y stuff with the kids being off school, because I have to. My sewing machine lives down there on the floor, and when I use it, I have to take over the kitchen table, so that's not very practical when you've got kids at home all the time. So yeah, that is the Starflower bag, and I am really, really pleased with it. I can't wait to finish it and use it. I'm going to definitely be taking that with me to festival. And my other work in progress that I wanted to quickly show you is my chamomile cow shawl. So if you are taking part in the chamomile mystery cow, which is being run by Lorraine Pugh Designs. Hi Lorraine. Lorraine's my YouTube crochet buddy. She is running this cow, and it's an 8-week mystery cow, so you get a clue every Thursday. You can still join in, but if you're a bit behind and you haven't done clue 3 yet, don't look, because I'm going to show you now. So I am using it calls for 1 main colour and 3 contrast colours. You need 1 100-gram main colour and 3 20-gram contrast colours. So I don't know how it's going to come up on the screen, but I really, really love it. The purple, the main colour, is Yarn Cafe Creations. Look, that's my chamomile cow beard. Stop talking. what was I on about? Oh yes, the purple is Yarn Cafe Creations Forest Nymph. The gold there under my thumb is a Nora George mini that was sent to me by Jojo Mama Bear on Instagram. And then you can just see this sort of riot of colour one here. Let me get a good bit where there's, see where all that pink is? That is Easter Bonnet by Little French Meadow. I love that. And this is what it looks like in the scheme. Or in the book. This is my little balled up one. And this is my little scheme. And now I didn't have enough of this, and Alison and Yola, who are the dyers behind Little French Meadow, very kindly managed to rustle up some more so that I would have enough to use it. And I am very grateful. Thank you, Alison and Yola, because it's working beautifully in this shawl. And the green is one that I dyed. In fact, I think it was I think it might have been the first one I ever dyed with a kit that I got for Christmas. And I dyed it like just a basic green, and then dropped a sort of strong yellow into the pot on top of it, but didn't stir it. So I got a kind of golden emerald green, and I wasn't going to use it because it is quite a strong colour against the others, which were a bit more muted, but I really liked how it came out. So that is at the end of clue 3. And there are 2 teams for this cow. There's team A and team B, and you can follow the instructions. So if you're team A, you follow the team A instructions of the same pattern. And if you're team B, you follow the team B instructions for the same pattern. And the thing that varies for each team is the way the colours are placed. I'm loving that. Seriously, seriously loving that. Now, I'm only showing you those 2, and I'm now going to take you on a little walk so that you can see why I'm only showing you those 2. Okay, we're walking. This is my little basket of things that I've got to talk about. I'm going to go through here and into the living room. So before the podcast started, I started to get together all of my works in progress so that I might show them to you. And this is the pile I ended up with, plus the other 2 that are through in the other room. So you can see that I have a bit of an issue. This is the one that I left in here accidentally. This is my yarn bowl that my sister bought me. And in here at the moment are living my watermelon socks. And this is another Little French Meadow yarn that I'm using for the contrast heels. And I'm really pleased with how those colours look with the yellow and the watermelon. And these are my first ever Fish Lips Kiss heels. So thank you everybody. I'm going to put your names on the screen now. And I'm sorry if I miss anyone who very kindly offered me advice a couple of episodes ago on heels. So I managed to successfully navigate the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And I'm on the home straight now. Just knitting until they're long enough. In here is another Hannah bag. This is just a little bag from the supermarket. It's another Hannah bag in progress in there. In here is my speckled space sock, second speckled space sock, so near to being finished. Look, I've turned the heel and everything. I've just got one more chevron to do and the ribbing, and it's done. In here, in my Oh So Lily bag, look at the sheeps. Please excuse the mess there. We're about to start moving some baby videos onto DVDs. Let's put that in front of it. Yeah, so that's my Oh So Lily bag, and that is my fox head that I'm making for my sister. In here is my So Faded sweater, which I haven't worked on in a little while because I've been trying to get everything, all these socks out the way. And in my favourite me-made lobster bag is my glorious looking Crowsy Memories blanket squares, which is patterned again by Lorraine Pugh Designs, which I'm adapting slightly, which I haven't talked about in a while, but maybe next time. And then in here is my long languishing granny square blanket. Blanket plural, which is a sort of collection of, you can't really see, but if you look back on previous episodes, that's what's in there. So you can see why I just couldn't talk about that. So much to do. Right, let's go back and right, I think I'm back in the right place. So yeah, best leave the works in progress alone for now. Now, incoming, I've talked about the wonderful yarn from Lay Family Yarns, but I haven't finished talking about Kelly from Lay Family Yarns. No, because I ordered, I saw on Instagram that she was dyeing up some Christmas sock sets, and it's never too early, in my opinion, to start thinking about Christmas. So I immediately ordered one because it is fantastic, and it looked fantastic on Instagram, and then when it arrived, I did a little Christmas hop of Christmas joy, because first of all, it's got jingle bells on the packet, so you know that's always a win. And this is the sock set. It's called Oh Christmas Tree, and it is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% silver selena again. And again, it's the 50 grams of the main colour and 20 grams of the contrast colour. Look at this. That to me is like old-fashioned Christmas colours, but slightly more modern, which makes no sense, I realise. And it's super sparkly. I can't wait to make those. Oh, you're very clever, Kelly. And I know I've already shown it to you before, but there's a card because it's so pretty. Little rainbow over a lake. Did you take that picture, Kelly? I wonder if you did. So yeah, that's an incoming thing which I was so excited about. I don't often actually buy tons of yarn, so I feel like I did really treat myself, and I felt very lucky. Then we went to the Bank Holiday Monday Village Fair. So it happens every year on Bank Holiday Monday. We are very beholden to the weather. It has been years when we've gone in cagoules and just got very, very wet. This year it was blazing hot. So we had a really nice time. We were there all afternoon. And the local WI, which is the Women's Institute, had a crafting stall there. And they were selling off old patterns and yarn, and I had a little rummage through, and I couldn't believe it. I found, let me just show you one ball of this, because some of it's already been schemed up and is soaking in a pot of water. This is Pampas by Wendy. It's a discontinued yarn, it doesn't exist anymore, and it's 65% cotton and 35% linen. I don't know how old it is, but it's very fresh smelling and feeling. And I got a packet of 10 balls of this for £5, which equates to 2,000 metres of, it's a DK weight. I looked it up on good old Ravelry, and it told me that this is actually a loosely spun DK weight. I thought it was a 4-ply because, I don't know if you can see, oh, that's not going to work at all. I'll just try and show you. There's parts of it that look really 4-ply. So I don't know what the gauge is going to be, but it's kind of changed my plans for what I was going to do for the back to school sweater cowl, because I was going to make the Picking Flowers sweater by Christina Haddering, which calls for a 4-ply yarn, but I was really struggling to choose which yarn I wanted, and I didn't want to buy lots more yarn for that. And this kind of changed my mind because it was £5. Ridiculous. And I've got some dyes that I can use, so I can dye it any colour that I feel like I want. And I've got a pattern in mind. It's a DK, a pattern that uses a DK weight yarn called, oh, what's it called? I'm gonna have to look it up. It's called the Envision cardigan. I'll just get a picture to show you. By Heidi May. Don't know if you can see that. And I do love a cardie. I do. I wear a lot of cardies, and I really like the look of this. It looks nice and warm, and I think I would use it a lot. So I'm going to dye up this yarn, and I'm not going to do a swatch until after I've dyed the yarn, because obviously the dyeing means soaking, dyeing, drying, and that could change how the yarn knits up. So I'm going to wait until I've done that before I swatch. And if I can get gauge for the cardigan, I'll make the cardigan. But if I have an easier time speaking, If I have an easier time getting engaged with this for the Picking Flowers sweater, then I will make that, because I have got enough to do either and some. So very happy with that. It's like it was meant to be. That yarn was there at that stall just waiting for me to come and find it. So I'm so excited about that. I was excited about this back to school sweater count anyway, and now I'm even more excited. I'm excited about everything. Strictly socks, strictly yarn, old fashioned yarn. Very exciting. But that's not all I bought at the WI craft stall. I found some vintage patterns and they are awesome. And it was so hard to think which ones I'm going to show you, because I could literally just show you every page in the book, but that would take forever. So this one I really liked. This must be an 1980s one. When was it published? I don't know if it says when it was published. It's a Wendy pattern. Oh, it doesn't say when it was published. I suppose it doesn't matter. But I think the hair will tell you when it was published. So this is the Wendy Como. Is that the name of it? Oh no, in Wendy Como yarn. Ladies textured top. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that top looks really modern. It's got like, this is a knitted pattern. It's got cabling, it's got cap sleeves, and it's got a really nice kind of wide boat neck. And I love that. So that is going into my list of things that I would like to make. I mean, I'm saying this, I've never knitted a garment yet. I'm only like a portion of the way into my sew faded jumper. And I'm already planning, you know, a cable. What yarn does it use? I don't know what Wendy Como is. It looks like it's cotton, doesn't it? Anyway, so I'm definitely making that. I also got this little booklet, which is a Seaside one, and it's got it's a sweater pattern with 2 options. I love this because look at how 60s that is. Look at, I mean, I could wear a headscarf with my fringe and like walk through I don't know, a vegetable patch or wherever they are. So you've got 2 options here. You can have the V-neck or the almost polo neck, isn't it? So, and there's a really nice texture there. I'm very pleased with that. I love these old patterns. Okay, we've got another good 80s one here. This is another knitted one, and it's a nice poofy textured jumper. Now, I like this one because I actually would wear something like this, but I might have to change the length a bit. But again, I mean, what happened? Why did that kind of hairdo go out, eh? I would have been brilliant. Seriously, you should see me when I haven't straightened my hair. But, you know, if I was like my age now in the 80s, I would have been fine, because my hair is just Monica in Friends when it's humid. That's my hair when it's left to its own devices. Now, I put a picture of this one on Instagram and everyone thought this lady had a tattoo, but it actually is the price. It says 30p. Actually, that's not true. This was in the 20p section, so it was only 20p. 50 cool fashions to knit and crochet, and this is a golden hand. Both of these booklets are a golden hands special, and someone left me a message on Instagram saying what a lovely blast from the past it was. So this was published, these do have published dates on it, in 1974. But again, you can tell, can't you, the hair, the makeup, everything. So that's a knitted vest, and I've marked the ones I wanted to show you, because there's also these vests. Look at that. I mean, I would happily wear, sorry if I wobbled you, I would happily wear that, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that a knitted vest would be able to cope with the amount of, you know, underwiring that's now required at my age. Oh, an off-the-shoulder evening dress with short puff sleeves to crochet. Look at that. Lovely crocheted evening dress. What else have I marked to show you? Oh, this one I thought looked quite modern, because it reminded me of a skirt that Sandra of Cherry Heart made recently. It's not the same, but it reminded me of it. It's like a crocheted skirt, but it's also got it's like a suit. There you go. Quite like that. I wouldn't ever wear it because they don't have the bottom for wearing a crocheted skirt. And this was my favourite one in this particular one. A couple of crocheted dresses that are designed for lying on rocks. So there you go, you can crochet yourself a nice mini dress for the purposes of, well, looking like you've just landed from the sky on a rock. It's just, honestly, brilliant. We had so much fun when we got back from the fair, looking through these. I haven't finished yet either. Or you can knit and crochet for women. This one was published, can you guess, from the hair and the makeup? Oh, actually, I would have guessed this one wrong. 1972, so a bit earlier in the 70s, but I would have put that as a more 60s one. And in here, it's falling apart a bit. Doesn't she look like, where is she? Doesn't she look like Helen George from Call the Midwife? That's a knitted tunic. I actually really like that. And she looks like the woman that was in Scrooged. She might have been in other stuff as well, but she looks like the woman who played the girlfriend in Scrooged. The one that calls him Lumpy. I might have to look that up and see what's there. Maybe she modelled as well. Right, what did I want to show you here? Oh! Granny Square tunic top or cardigan. Now, this is a bit racy, this one. So please look away if you're of a nervous disposition. This is a glamorous beach outfit. A cool bikini with coordinating cover-up. I mean, can you imagine rocking up at Margate wearing that? Let alone getting in the sea. My mum, who grew up in the 60s, remembers having knitted swimwear. And bear in mind, she grew up in Scotland as well, in Aberdeen. So when they did go to the beach, it was in the North Sea. And she said the moment we got in the sea, everything just sank downwards because it was knitted and made of wool. Can you imagine? And I like this last one. This is another crocheted one. And I liked it just because of what it is. That there is a bed cape. Now, I don't know what a bed cape is. I'm assuming it is a cape that you wear in bed for keeping your shoulders warm whilst you're, I don't know, reading, knitting, crocheting. I don't know. But yeah, so I did very well on the patterns haul. And I'm going to look forward to using those because as funny as they are to look at and look at the old photos, they're patterns, and I got that whole lot for 70p. Ridiculous. So I'm going to be looking out for that at future fairs. And I also got this. Now, I've not decided whether I'm going to keep this or use it as a giveaway yet. I'm quite tempted to keep it, but the print on it makes me think it might be good as a prize. There's a lady at the fair who made all bags, and this is actually a gift bag, and it fits 2 bottles of wine, so that if you're going to give someone wine, they go out either side. But I thought, such a good design for a knitting bag, because you can have it on your arm and you could knit from it, and because it sits so beautifully. And I really like that, the Union Jack and the London Underground symbols, and it's got Big Ben and the London taxi and the pound sign and all the kind of London British things. I thought that was really cool. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that to use or if I'm going to use it as a giveaway prize. I'm not sure. But it's beautifully made. It was so nice to find someone locally to support who was doing that. She seemed absolutely blown away that I was so enthusiastic and impressed. I just thought it's a shame that she doesn't realise that actually she was an older lady, and there would be a market for this. You know, she was selling it on Etsy, but Yeah, so I felt good to be able to support her. She was selling, this was £6. £6. I mean, she could have been selling it for so much more. Right, where was I? Incoming stuff. Yeah, this arrived this morning. My Little French Meadow, I subscribe to the Little French Meadow mini scheme club, which they open every 3 months, and it's on Etsy, and you get a little parcel at the end of each month. So this is the August one. It's always a surprise what the theme is. So let's have a look. Comes in these little yellow pouches, and this year's, oh sorry, it's the September one, because it's the end of August. So it arrives at the beginning of each month. So usually they send it out you know what I mean. So today is the 2nd of September and this arrived this morning. So they probably sent it out a couple of days ago. So this is the September one, and it is childhood memories. And you get 2 mini skeins, you always get something you can eat, and you usually get a stitch marker. You always get a stitch marker. Not usually. Exciting. Oh, that's so... I'll show you why I just went... This was my... Oh, that is spot on for childhood memories. Jelly tots. Oh my goodness. They are my favourite. I don't really like sweets. I prefer chocolate, but jelly tots. Oh, yes. So the 2 mini skeins are called Land of Sweets and Fairy Spells. And here they are. Should probably have warned you to look away if you're a part of this mini scheme club. Too late. Hopefully you realised. There we go. I don't know which one's which, but they're both beautiful as usual. And you always get a stitch marker, and look at this. Oh my gosh. Possibly the best one yet. Yola and Alison, you are so clever. Look at that fairy with a star sitting in a moon. My girls, when they come home, are going to go absolutely bananas for that. That's so pretty. I would highly, oh, I've just unravelled it. I would highly recommend this mini scheme club because it's very reasonably priced, and yeah, it's a wonderful little treat in your mailbox at the end of every month, or the beginning of every month. Right, before I share with you my Seaside vlog, we spent the weekend, a couple of weeks ago, we went down to a house down in Westgate-on-Sea, which is on the North Kent coast, just for 2 or 3 nights. My mum's friend has a house there which she rents out to friends and family. So we were lucky enough to go there, and it was glorious, absolutely gorgeous. You will see from the video at the end that, yeah, you'll see how beautiful it was. But first I just wanted to talk very quickly about crafty plans and things. So usually I will talk about the things I want to make, and I do still have a long list of things that are in the pipeline and things I do need to get done. My best friend is having a baby at the, I don't know, beginning or middle of November. So, you know, I'm going to have to get something made for that baby between now and then. So any recommendations for quick, easy baby knits, please send them my way. Comment below. I also have now got the yarn for my eldest daughter's top that she requested, but that doesn't have to be ready until Christmas. And it's a DK weight top, so I'm hoping, again, even though I've never actually knitted a top before, that will go smoothly. And there's still plenty of things, and also you've just seen my shameful pile of works in progress. Although, to be fair, and I just realised I left one works in progress out of that pile because it's in my handbag. Another pair of socks for my mother-in-law. Anyway, I need to get those things under control because crochet and knitting are my hobbies, and they are the things that keep me sane. I like nothing better than perusing Ravelry for probably hours on end, planning what I want to make, or looking at other people's versions of patterns I'm going to make and getting ideas for colour and technique, and the planning of it is as enjoyable as the doing of it to me. But lately, and this may just be because it's the summer holidays and I am starting to work more hours and the kids have been at home and life has just been quite busy, and we've had things we've had to deal with, and those kind of stresses are starting to get to me a little bit. I have been feeling overwhelmed by my hobby, which I don't know if anyone else gets like that, but it has. I've kind of got to the point where I'm like, this is ridiculous. Crochet and knitting are the things I do to keep me sane and to keep my mind off things, and they're the things that I get enjoyment from, and I shouldn't be feeling frazzled about them. And things feel out of balance and I need to find some balance again, and I think the only way I'm going to do that is by clearing the decks a little bit. I need to have a week or two where I really do start to clear the works in progress to make room for the next things that I want and need to make. So the back to school sweater cowl, for example, that doesn't start until the 16th or 17th of September. So that gives me a good 2 weeks to finish quite a few things. The long-term projects I'm not so bothered about, but I do actually need to work on those. I find that I haven't been. And the long-term projects tend to be the very relaxing ones that you can just work on in a kind of mindless way and enjoy seeing grow quite quickly. But I'm not getting time to work on those because I'm doing too many other things. So yeah, I need to get that under control in order to feel less overwhelmed, because I am, I think, craftily overcommitting myself. I think it's like the crafty equivalent of eating too many sweets because you like them and making yourself feel sick. It doesn't mean because you like doing something you should do all of it in one go and make yourself feel frazzled. So yeah, I had to give myself a bit of a talking to. That said, I am going to be starting this sweater for the back to school sweater cowl, and I've got on the stove. I went out this morning and I bought myself a pot specifically for dyeing yarn, so I wasn't using the ones we use for cooking, because up until this point I've used only food safe dyes, but I have now got a couple of proper acid dyes, and I don't want to use our cooking stuff for that. So I'm going to be dyeing yarn later for my cardigan. Yes, I'm hoping to finish those socks, those watermelon socks, in the next couple of days, and that second speckle space sock as well. That'll feel good to have that finished. So, right, moving on. I'm rambling now. I have made this little vlog from the seaside. I have purposefully not put any music on it because I wanted you to be able to hear the sounds of the seaside as well. And it was something that Lily of the Nordic Stitches podcast had mentioned about slow TV, which is a sort of quite big thing in Norway, I think, which is videos of just one thing for a long time. There's a CBS kind of interview snippet on YouTube somewhere, which was quite interesting, which kind of explained it. So I'll put a link to that video below. And yeah, so it's worth having a look at that. But because of that, I left the sound off of this little vlog so that you can experience where I was walking with the sounds that went with it. So I hope you enjoy that. And I hope I haven't rambled on too long, and hopefully I might be able to get this edited and up a lot quicker than I have been able to over the past few months, because in the past few months it's taken me probably about 3 days to be able to edit and upload because of the nature of how I had to do it. And I'm hoping that I might actually get this uploaded either today or tomorrow, which will be Sunday. Fingers crossed. Don't forget, Strictly Socks 2017. Go on to the Ravelry group, the links are all below. Join in. It starts next Saturday, the 9th of September. As ever, thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.
take over the sky.